Today HRX started, and with that we have the first announcement for Smite as well as some other HiRez stuff. And there are quite a few different announcements for Smite, so we have a fair bit to look forward to in the upcoming year. Let's begin with the biggest thing for most, I think, and that is the new god announcements. The first god that was announced is Heimdall. Now, many of you that watched my data mining videos may already know this, but now it is official. But we have a lot more information about Heimdall than we had before, and it makes things very interesting because I didn't expect all of this. I'm gonna play Heimdall's trailer in the background here while we talk about him a little bit. It actually shows us a little bit about his abilities already, but there's more information than that. Because based on the look here, you would think that he's a warrior, or I at least thought he was. But he's not. He's not an assassin either though, he is in fact a hunter. But HiRez already stated that he's not going to feel or play like the more traditional hunters that we have, but will be rather unique in his ability usage and everything else. And part of that is that his ranged weapon are thrown axes, and that he has a hit chain. And if I understand that correctly, it's a hit chain that we typically see on assassins with different swing timers. As far as I know, no hunter has that as of now, because it comes with some balancing difficulties, I would say, especially for items like kin size. So it's going to be very, very interesting how they manage to balance that for Heimdallr. In addition to that, however, he will use 2 more weapons, not just 1. One of the weapons is his horn, which, according to the trailer at least, seems to come with a knockback effect, which was what I was originally speculating on as well. But then he also uses a sword. In the trailer he uses a sword to impale 2 skeletons. I'm not sure how this can fit into his kit so far, but it seems that he will at least have some sort of melee tool that is not necessarily linked to a stand swap. And then, last but not least, the Bifrost bridge, or Bifrost bridge as they all call it, is also somewhere in his kit, most likely in his ultimate. What I'm very curious about with his non-traditional design is if he will actually even be built like a hunter, or if he's maybe more built like a warrior, for example, that has ranged attacks and can be played in solo lane or something. Because HiRez said he's very unusual. And if he was played more like a normal hunter, then it would be relatively surprising to me that he has an ability that's a melee attack. Because yes, we have Heimdallr who's got a stand swap, but typically hunters have some sort of ranged utility. But we'll see. Maybe we see something completely different here. And then we have a bunch of gods that were teased, with one of them being specifically announced as well. So let's look at that trailer as well and let Lady of the Lore guide us through it.
You've come seeking a vision. The threads of fate hold the answers for those worthy. One thread, a defender of Asgard, with eyes on the horizon over the Bifrost. Heimdall. Another strand to the east. A land of warriors as plentiful as trees, with one rising above all. Deeper still, into the woods, there resides a home that is a sanctuary for none but Baba Yaga. Darker still, the infinite abyss rushes like waves, and yet more comforting than what lies beneath. However, even the darkest night gives way to the light of the moon. But that's a tale for another time. The threads of fate bind us all. What will they hold for you?
Right, so this trailer comes with a few riddles, but we also have a few hints. The first one is about someone from a land of warriors as plentiful as trees, with one rising above all, and we see the Chinese terracotta army in the background. What I can't really tell is what this breaking statue is about and what the insect's role is, or if they're just visual design to give some guidance. The line here doesn't tell us all too much. It says that it's a land of warriors and one rise above, so it has to be some sort of warrior. Many of the Chinese warriors or like Chinese warriors that are linked to mythology often are also warlords at some point, so maybe it's something about that. But it seems to indicate that whoever is in the story doesn't start from royalty. Some options that were proposed for that, and sorry if I butcher their names, were Lu Bu, Xiang Yu, or Wu Song. But one option that stands out more than ever is Hua Mulan. And that's because Mulan is translated as the magnolia flower, and we already had this hint in the data mining which just said magnolia as the name of the god or goddess. So that matches perfectly. She has that warrior thing going on, and she rises above the others to some extent. So yeah, it seems to match very well, even though it's kind of surprising because she's not really a god and she's more of a legend. But then again, the same is true for King Arthur and for Merlin, so it's not entirely surprising. And Mulan is of course a very known name due to the movies and due to the upcoming movie as well. So maybe HiRez decided to just kind of go with that hype, and I think that's a smart move because for many people this is probably the most recognizable name of the entire roster, especially if they're usually not concerned with mythology at all. Then afterwards we have Baba Yaga. We can see her house here with the chicken legs. So this is completely confirmed. The Slavic goddess will make her way into Smite because it's specifically stated that it is Baba Yaga. The next god afterwards is a bit harder to tell because we only really know that it's a god from the abyss of some sort, and there are some options, there are some possibilities here. This could be Kanaloa from the Polynesian pantheon. It could also be the destroyer god because that god was announced for the middle of the upcoming year after the delay, though the destroyer might also specifically not be shown here. That was the one that threatens the entire world. It doesn't necessarily link up with it, but it seems to be the darkest god of the ones you can see here. So if it's any of them, it's this one. And in that case, it could be Tiamat, a Mesopotamian god, or goddess rather, the goddess of the Salt Sea. Or it could possibly be Charybdis as well, Greek undersea monster. But then it doesn't quite fit with how the destroyer was depicted beforehand when we saw the trailer last year. So I'm not entirely sure about this one. There's really multiple options here and we will have to see. The next one, on the other hand, with the moon theme is very straightforward, and it's very, very likely Tsukiyomi, who is the Japanese moon god. Matches with the moon, of course, also matches with the background and everything, so very, very likely. And then last but not least, I have absolutely no clue about this one. I think this is some sort of panda based on the footsteps there and the facial structure, but I really don't know what that animal thing is linked to, and I'll just have to wait because I really have no guesses for that one. And that's it for the gods, but wait, there is more. We are getting a brand new Joust map relatively early in the season, because what is announced is that there will be a new Chinese event coming up, and this event is for the new Chinese god as well as the new Joust map. And as we know, the Chinese god is the second god after Heimdall, so it will not be all that far away. And we already know about this map that it will be a bridge between the current Joust that we have and classic Joust, bringing the best elements of both into one brand new version of Joust. And we can see the map here, and the map looks quite interesting. So the map layout wise has quite a few more path in the jungle, quite a few more hiding spots, so there's a little bit more jungle fighting potential going on. And along with that, there are also multiple added camps. You can see that on the right side there is some speed camps for both teams, as well as some sort of minion camp. I don't know if it's Harpy camp or whatever it's going to be, but some extra XP. So there is a variety of camps you can go for between waves now, which is not only interesting for Joust, but also for Duel, which I'm assuming is probably going to get the same map as usual. It also looks like it will be a little bit harder to take the Bull Demon because there is another angle of attack here basically now, but you may be able to kind of hide it as well. I don't know how good this visual block will be. And it seems like the spawns are a bit further away from your Titan. I'm not quite sure on this one, but it looks like it's like pushed back a little bit at the top and at the bottom, which would mean that Titan turtling is just a tiny bit harder. It also seems like the map will get a visual overhaul along with it, a completely new style again, which is honestly a bit surprising to me. I thought that the style wasn't really feeling outdated just yet, but I guess it helps that Joust is one of the most popular modes, meaning that it's getting a little bit more attention than other modes, so that's probably why this is already happening at this point. But Conquest is getting some new things as well, one of which we can see right here. The geometry of the mid-harpies is getting changed. I'm not sure if this applies for both mid-harpies or just for the mid-harpies on the Gold Fury side towards Duo Lane, but what you can see here is that instead of there being an open pit that can be contested from both sides, there are now two smaller pits in the rocks, meaning that either both teams will get 2 harpies or there will be 1 harpy on each side. I'm not sure what will be the case here, but either way it will be much easier to secure at least some of your own mid farm on this side. In addition to that, the duo lane will also get XP camps somewhere close to it, and there is a new jungle connected objective near speed buff. I don't know what that means, what that's all about, but we will find out in due time. So there will definitely be some meta shakeups in Conquest as well. I am not sure if the overall sizing of the map is changed, though it doesn't sound like it, which kind of makes me wonder what's going to happen with that XP camp, where exactly that's going to end up. And it also makes me wonder about the balance of other roles, because that's going to give an advantage to the ADC role. Maybe they will take away the Ghost minion in return, I'm not sure. So I'm guessing there will be quite a few balance changes along with this as well. We will also, speaking of changes, see changes to Odin that was already announced. 2 abilities will be overhauled for him to implement his runic magic and his magical spear more. So I guess at least the 3 will be reworked, and then maybe the 2 are the ultimate. And then Bastet will also see an overhaul, which will primarily be big changes to her cats that make them more interactive. And last but not least, HiRez has made a deal with Red Bull Music, and there will be fan packs in game, I would call them. And these are for Beartooth, Owl Nation, Albert Hammond Jr. and Flaws. Not the biggest bands out there for most people. I think most people will know Owl Nation from their song Sail at least. I'm happy about Beartooth too, and the other ones I have no idea. But these bundles will come with avatars for those musicians and jump stems and global emotes, so you can kind of show off their logos. And they come with in-game sound packs, basically. So it's not only their music playing in the background or something, but the music actually, let's call it, reacting to the game. Titan Weathers gave me a few examples of this for Beartooth specifically. So the breakdown from the song Enemy plays when you destroy a tower, and at the start of the match you will hear part of You Never Know. When you recall, then the song Disease will play, and if you destroy a phoenix, then Greatness or Death plays. So really there are, I guess, at least guitar riffs, if not even sound files of the voice as well, so actual complete snippets of the song that play during specific interactions in game. I think this will be very interesting, and how good it is really highly depends on the execution, but I'm excited to see it at least, and if I like it or not will be another question. It's going to be a bit unfortunate that most content creators can't really use them on YouTube because you can't actually play the copyrighted music. I don't know if there will be a workaround for that, and I doubt it. And that's all the information we have so far. If you're new to the channel, feel free to sub button and maybe the bell. It really helps me out and will keep you updated on more Smite info that will come in the near future. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you all for the next one tomorrow. DukeSloth out.